What's up, people? It's your boy Purple Ace coming at you with a little PvP commentary. Give you a little Lion King intro right there, but a little different setup actually for us. You'll notice we're running a double DPS. We actually were talking about it in cam earlier today. I think some of Uncensored. Well, we're playing Uncensored this round, and you can see we rush bounty, but we're actually doing a little different. Repto Gade, aka Renegade from the hero side. And he's been a member of One Piece for a while. Hasn't really PvP'd as much over here, but he's in there. Hard light DPSing, repping it. I know the damage potential is very high on it on hard light, but on the PS3 with lag issues and clipping, being the way it is, it's a little harder to get it off. But he does a tremendous job with it. The burst on it's there, so we complement each other really well this match. But double DPS setup, just briefly about it. The match itself, we do come out and we catch them off guard. They kind of get hit in the jaw, and we could kind of tell that they weren't necessarily ready for it. A lot of people haven't. I mean, it hasn't been running in a while. I know Martis and I were doing it for a really long time, and nobody would queue against it. But you can see we get the first kill, minute and a half in. We switch to Chronic immediately. He gets CC'd, and then we go from here. But you'll just see people start dropping. A little bit, just a background on the double DPS setup for people that are wondering about it. It leaves you really vulnerable. I know especially on the US PS3 with a lot of people playing conservative. It leaves you just vulnerable because of the RPS you're giving up. Your troll is going to be under a lot of wear and tear because of they're going to have a tank and you're not. And same thing with your healers. Your healers will have to be comfortable rocking maybe debuff serums, and they also have to be good kiters, great LOSers. Pretty much everyone does. You'll see they stay on me, pretty much to relieve some. And that's what most teams do, but Uncensored always does it pretty much. And I think they get off me and go to Varn for a stretch, but for the most part they stay on me. And I don't know if y'all caught that a couple seconds ago, coming around the LOS. You'll notice that You'll notice that Ren is actually running the hard light super, the damage super, strafing run, and we wanted to be as offensive as possible this game with being as defensive as we possibly could. We just said the hell with it, why not? Let's push pace. So what we did is we did something that probably really not recommended. It's a little weird, and it worked well for us. Tonight we since obviously hard light has the best damage super in the game. Bolt barrage is up there. It's pretty good, but strafing run is just beast. Basically we let him run a damage super, and Miner, who is sorcery, drop transcendence for speed drain. And basically this is actually Zach healing on Trig's account. He's rocking extended supercharge, and we're trying to save his as much as possible. And you'll notice there's a strafing run on the whole group from him, and then I come in with my burst, and we go from there. But it complements us really well. You can see we're pushing pace at a ridiculous amount, and that's what we do. There is a part here I think Chronic gets bugged for a brief period of time. And we knew that since he had just come back to nature, that we could take advantage of it, that he just started healing, and that's pretty much what we do. We did try to play him again right after. I think Chronic had logged and ECAT logged, and they switched to Coca-Cola, who gotta give shouts out to Coke, old school, and Kitty Grimm, and I think we were up on him about 100-0 maybe, about a minute and a half, 2 minutes into the match, maybe not even, and Kitty fell through the floor, and it was really late, so we just decided to call it a night. But basically what we did is we went after healer, and we went right back to bounty, and we would just go back and forth. We'd never really go back to back on the healers. But you can see we almost get a full wipe here, I think, from what I remember. And but it was fun. We pushed pace extremely fast. With double DPS, your DPS have to be on the same page. Ren doesn't even have his mic on this match, but he does a good job of moving with me. He moves to the targets I'm on pretty much, outside of the targets I'm already calling. Varn does a tremendous job. He runs if you notice the POT, I think it's like a 145. That's another thing when you're running double DPS to consider. Your troller needs to be able to, he's going to be calling the supers, obviously, and the POT's got to be extremely high. When it's getting stripped, you want that POT to be extremely high. So I think he pops a Vikola with full troller gear. So his damage may be, not as high as it normally would be, but the power is tremendous, especially considering the fact that this is a double DPS setup. He's got 2 DPS burning power, on top of the fact that he's gonna have a tank on him, stripping that POT, and he's gonna be debuffed. So I think he ran debuff serums as well. Obviously I'm not, but so that's pretty much what we did. We pushed pace. It was very fun, exciting. I know a lot of people don't like the double DPS, but you can see right here, you can see right there, I saw Ren in the pocket, and I just backed off and started block breaking a little bit on Bounty before I came back in. And then there's strafing run again, and as he's throwing strafing run, you see me block breaking and trying to get my 35%er off, and we just try to wear him down. You see his dots are just on all of them with the super, and I think we get Bounty here pretty quick, yeah. And then Bounty doesn't ever really recover, but we get great teamwork on the block breakers. The block breakers this whole match were great. Ren being a tank over there, the one thing he is known for is his ability he's very good with lasso, and yes, there's definitely people that are good and bad with lasso, and he's one of the people that are very good with it, and he does a great job of it here. You see him using it, or he's either clipping it, but he does a good job keeping the targets grounded, and so we pretty much are able to do kind of what we want this whole match. And here we kind of get Bounty stuck, but and then I think I catch him with a block breaker, and he's gone. There's the burst from that. That's Ren's burst on that one, and I think we go Chronic again. Like I said, the double DPS is about pushing pace. You show a lot of vulnerabilities and you risk a lot of things, but it's fun. It's a fun setup to run. I wish more teams would be okay with queuing against us with it, but at the same time, you got to have the right personnel to pull it off. It's a little tricky. It takes a lot of practice. I know that people just think, oh, double DPS is either OP or it can't be run. It can still be run even with all the crazy CCing going on. It's just a personnel issue. It's just about bringing out the right personnel and making sure everyone knows what they're doing. You got to make sure, like I said, your healers got to be able to kite, your controllers got to be able to pick up blues. Your DPS, if needed, have to pick up blues. But if they're on the controller, those your two DPSs must be able to drop a target. And if they can't, then there's really no reason you should be running double DPS. So that's what I stress. Ren and I do a good job, and when Martis and I ran it nonstop, Martis wasn't on tonight. But it's the same thing. We ran it a lot, I think, with Jester when we were running it. They would try to sit on Jester, and we would drop a target, and that's what it is. It's your 2 DPS. If they're on your troller or whoever they're on, that you got to be able to drop a target. You got to be able to push pace. It's kind of basically like a giving you a little basketball reference. It's kind of like a high speed offense, basically. Kind of like the old school like Phoenix Suns when Steve Nash was there. And you're giving up a little bit of defense, obviously, without that tank in there. No no rebuffs. No pot stripping from you, and you can see right there that's a good time. That's a great time super from Ren, because Bounty was already dropping, and ECAT and Cap were in the pocket. So if you notice, you saw that kill right there. As soon as Bounty dropped, I just photoned Cap, and he was dead, just because of where they were already hurting from the super. But this was fun. I know the pace was fun. I know we had a blast with it. We might do it a lot more often. I know once the season's over, we're going to be doing it a lot, just because, it's kind of boring. The pace is just kind of slow. It's all the same thing. It's all ghosting and dogging, which is fine because people are getting killed, but it's still, it's still a little boring. It's not necessarily the funnest and most exciting thing in the world, but it's not terrible. But hopefully, like I said, more people will be okay with queuing this up. I hope so. I think it'll be fun. Hopefully more people do it. I know a lot of people it'll take some time to get used to. the damage. I think I've healed against a double troller setup before on minor, so I think I solo healed against it, and I can already tell you the damage just from that was already incredible. So obviously the damage off this is going to be fun, but this is going to be the last kill right here on Bounty, so I'll let y'all go ahead and just watch that. Scorecard's pretty much just going to go ahead and pop up. You can see the damage from Ren and I are both pretty, it's both pretty equal as far as what we needed to do. So we do a pretty good job, so hopefully y'all enjoyed the vid. A little different, so, but we'll see what happens. So thanks for watching, subscribe, let me know what y'all think.